foreign desk with more. Hey, Trace.
Yeah, we're talking about a very volatile situation here we need to keep a close eye on because it's very tenuous now. We're talking about the United States and Russia potentially being on opposite ends of this volatile situation. To give it to you in a nutshell, here's what happened. Ossetia has broken away from Georgia. This is back in 1992, but Georgia does not recognize their independence. The United States supports Georgia, okay? 90% of Ossetians are Russian citizens, and Russia is stepping in to protect them. I want to show you on the map right here what we're talking about. It's kind of hard to see, but this is the area in question right here. You can see Tbilisi right there. That's the capital of Georgia. I want to swing back over here to Anastasia Bard. She is Russian. She is on our foreign desk. You've been following this, and I guess the question, Anastasia, for everybody is this a war?
Well, not yet. We cannot call it that, but it is very serious military conflict because right now there's both Georgian and Russian troops, not only in Ossetia, but there now seems to be reporting that Russian troops have bombed some of the air bases in Georgia, only 25 miles from the capital, Tbilisi. So we're watching what happens. The U.S. is sending an envoy. Everybody's calling for a ceasefire, but this is a serious confrontation.
It is, and from the sources that you've been working all day long, what's the feeling over there right now that this thing may escalate very rapidly?
We're waiting to see. It's very late right now in Georgia, so it's hard for us to tell what will happen in the next coming hours, but it's very likely that this will get more serious. There are reports of hundreds of people dead, maybe as many as 1,000 in Ossetia. People are fleeing into Russia, and it's certainly a big concern for everybody in the region. And the timing is certainly interesting during Olympics when everybody else is watching.
Can you click on that for us, Anastasia, if you would? You might have heard that sound, the bulletin. Those are the urgent bulletins, and that was coming across from this dispute over there. What does it read? I can't read it over there.
This is according to a Russian agency. IFAX, Ossetian leaders saying 1,400 dead. Now you have to understand there are two different sides where we'll get completely different reporting from the Russians and different reporting from Georgians. Russians are using Ossetia in a power play with the Georgian president who's trying to get as much independence as he gets. And half of this is about Georgia trying to get into NATO, which Russia opposes very strongly.
Understood. Anastasia Barton, back to you as the news warrants. I want to bring in now Ronald Reagan's former National Security Advisor, Robert McFarland. Sir, thank you for joining us, first of all. And secondly, we just talked to Anastasia Bard about the escalation of this. Do you believe this will further escalate, in your opinion?
Well, it could get out of control, and it's important that the European Union, as well as the UN, step up to this and deal firmly to call for withdrawal and restraint, ceasefire by all the parties. Russia has been nurturing, stimulating this kind of tension for a long time. South Ossetia was a part of Georgia as a republic of the former Soviet Union, and the people of South Ossetia, though ethnically different from Georgians, have been part of Georgia, the sovereign
and Mr.
country
McFarland,
for a long time.
I guess, there's a lot of concern about this right now. We know the United States is backing Georgia. We know that Russia says they are going in to protect the citizens they believe are Russian citizens, the Ossetian people. And I guess the question becomes, at what point, if there becomes that point, does the United States almost have to step into this?
The United States has had as many as 1,000 troops there, but entirely unrelated to this. Their mission was to train Georgian troops going to Iraq, to the coalition there. The United States doesn't have the immediate obligation. The first responders ought to be Europeans, as ought to have been the case in Bosnia and Kosovo in years past. This is essentially a European problem. However, it is important that the United States stay engaged because, after all, it is a clash between a great power seeking to throw its weight around and to oppose legitimate rights of a sovereign Georgia to defend itself.
Former National Security Advisor for Ronald Reagan, Robert McFarland. Sir, thank you very much. And Julie, it's important to point out a couple of things that Mr. McFarland was talking about, the fact that we were over there to train Georgian troops to fight in Iraq, and now we've just learned that 1,000 of those troops that are now in Iraq are being called back to Georgia, so that could kind of change the situation as well. Keep a very close eye on this throughout the hour.
All right, Trace, thank you. Now let's switch gears.